wonderful, is a wonderful musician. Actually, I did not know her before this year started. I learned of her from a friend, actually my cousin, who sent me her album to listen to, and she was like, "Oh, this music is really good." And I listened to the music, and I was in love with the music. And it was then I decided, like every other person normally does, to find out more about the musician. Uncle Juju knows everything. Google, get to know a few things. And I saw a piece on her by, I think it was an organization about women, and it was talking about how wonderful she is also at marketing. And I thought to myself, yeah, she is a leader in her field, because her marketing strategy in music really worked. I listened to her album and I was enthralled. So I reached out to her, and that's how we have Olivia today. To introduce her, I think I would say that if you have not listened to her music, then I don't know what you're doing. You need to reconsider your life. But before then, basically, her music introduces her. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's been recognized through many awards, nominations. It speaks to you in a way that music should. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Olivia to speak to us. She's going to be speaking to us about what it means to do something you're really passionate about, how you balance that with your life, and how to do proper branding, because she is a queen of branding. And over to you, Miss Olivia.
Thank you so much, Elvis, for the introduction. Can you all hear me, or can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. So I'm going to share a little bit about my story, who I am, and then maybe a few tips on how you can brand yourself. And then hopefully there'll be also room for you to ask me questions. So I'm going to try and pack everything in like 20 minutes. So my name is Olivia Ambani. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a marketing consultant. And my journey as a singer started many, many years ago. So when I was in school, I think one of the things I loved doing was singing. So I used to sing everywhere. I was that person who was quite quiet, but you would catch me singing like wherever I was. So growing up, I really wanted to be a singer, but I just never saw a possibility of how to make that happen. So it was kind of one of those dreams I had, but I was like, is it even possible, or are only like some people able to be singers? So the dream stayed with me, but it would go up and down. So then I went to high school where I kept singing, and then I went to university where I tried to audition for lots of different things, musicals. I even tried to audition for X Factor. So I went to university in the UK and I tried to audition for X Factor. And I remember my first experience of getting an audition like that. I was super nervous, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to put myself out there. So when I went to audition for X Factor, I started singing, I'd been practicing, and then they like stopped me after I'd done like the first verse and chorus. And they were like, thank you, but you're not what we're looking for. And I was so crushed because I was like, oh my gosh, if I can't even get past the first interview of X Factor, what hope do I have as a singer? Like, I was like, this is it. So I remember the train ride home, I was balancing tears. I didn't want people to see me crying in public. So I was like, gonna be strong until I get home. But then a few months later, I had to perform at my friend's wedding. And obviously I couldn't tell them, sorry, I didn't get X Factor, so I'm not gonna perform at your wedding. So I just basically was like, just have to be strong, go and perform. So I went to perform at my friend's wedding. And I remember as I was singing, I will never forget that feeling. I just felt at home. And in that moment, I thought, you know what? It's okay if X Factor said no to me. I love singing so much that I will still keep doing it, even if everybody says no to me. So in that moment, I started to slowly believe in myself a little bit more. Then fast forward to when I finished university and came back home to Kenya. I had tried again, I even was doing background vocals for a really popular artist. I don't know how many of you know Emmanuel Jal. So he was a schoolmate and he was back in town and he wanted someone to do background vocals. So I was like, yes, I'm here, I'm ready. So I remember we'd spend long, long evenings in the studio. I was doing background vocals. But unfortunately, the album never came out. So I never got to hear my voice on something out there. And so after a couple of different experiences, I felt like, you know what, I think I'm just going to stop. This dream is not taking me anywhere. And so I was really low because, when you stop doing something that you're passionate about, there's a way it affects the way you live your life. So I remember there was a day I was watching Adele videos. So Adele based in UK. And I was like, she's amazing, but I think I could do something like that. And then I heard a voice ask me, what's the one thing you would regret not doing? And without skipping a beat, I knew if I never created any body of work with my music, like if I never released an EP or an album, I would really, really regret it. Then I thought, okay, but then how am I going to make that happen? Because, I've tried to audition, I've tried to get signed, that didn't work for me. And then I started to think about how many things I'd done for other people. I'd supported people's projects, I'd helped them make them happen. And I thought, if you can make it happen for other people, why can't you make it happen for yourself? So in that moment, I realized that I needed to choose myself and my dream and stop waiting to be picked by other people. So that for me was a really key point when I said, you know what, I'm going to use all my resources, all the skills that I'm learning to help me make my dream come true. So I started to do really small steps because obviously I didn't really know like how to become an independent musician, and it was still not as popular as it is now to be an independent musician. So I slowly started jamming with friends and just trying to figure out how the music scene was. And then I thought, you know what, I'm a good writer, I'm a good songwriter. Why don't I like just start working on songs that I've had like in my computer or my phone for years. So I'm the sort of person who freestyles. So freestyle basically means like just coming up with things on the go. And I had like over 200 plus songs that were just unfinished. So I decided, you know what, let me pick a couple that I feel stick in my mind and I'm going to work on that for my album. So I picked about 13 songs that I started to work on and actually started to work on my album at that point in time. And as I was working on my album, I started to think about, okay, I want to release this body of work, but nobody knows who I am. So what do I need to do? So in that point, I started to think about the fact that I'd been doing marketing for other people. And I made a decision that I would hire myself as a marketing consultant. So I said, I'm going to use my own services of marketing for me because there's no point of me saying, I do marketing, but I'm not using it for my own brand. So that was something really key that I decided. So I sat down with myself and I said, okay, what strategy are we coming up with? So one of the key things I decided was I'm going to start doing lots and lots of gigs. I set up a YouTube channel and did 1 or 2 covers so that people could start knowing who I am. Because I didn't want to release my music and then there was nobody ready for the music. Like now I'm trying to build an audience. So those are some of the things I did. And then I remember one of the performances I did was at my producer's concert. It was called 7 in Concert. So I was performing my debut single called Better Than Just Fine. Now, the concert was, it had a few people, not as well attended as we had hoped, but I remember one of the key things I promised myself when I started my career again was, it doesn't matter if it's one person or 20,000 people, always perform your best. So that day, there were like, I think maybe a quarter or a third of the people were expecting. I went and I just gave it my best. At the end of the show, this really great artist came up to me and said, you know what, that song that you sang Better Than Just Fine really spoke to me and I want you to perform it at my album release. So this was June Gashu. I don't know how many of you know June Gashu. And I was like, what? Like me? I don't even have any music out, but I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then I was like, but let me not get too excited. Let me see if this happens. Because people can say come and perform, but then will it actually happen? So I remember when like a few weeks later, she actually reached out officially and, coordinated. And then I actually did perform at, her album launch. And it was one of the biggest, like, I guess, album launch that we had I'd ever been to locally. And so I was there performing my song Better Than Just Fine. And the stage, the lights, just the whole experience gave me the bug to keep on going. And I remember when I was there, I was like, wow, me just putting myself out there can open up these opportunities. Because I remember when I was performing, I was like, I don't even have any music out. I don't think I even had more than like 1,000 followers on Instagram. Like, not many people knew me, but I started to realize the power of saying yes and putting yourself out there. So fast forward to after I was at the June Gashui show, I started to, finalize my album, and then it was finished. But working on my album took a while. It took like 5 years, and I was really frustrated. So I'd work on my album, and I was working as a marketing consultant as well to raise the fund. And then finally, when my album was ready, I was like, okay, this is wonderful, but now I don't have the funds to market my album. So I decided to look for. I was actually not sure if I'd actually release it, but then I saw an opportunity from Mr Eazi. So he has this company called emPawa Africa, and emPawa Africa basically invests in artists, African artists. So I remember seeing like the audition thing, and I was like, man, I've auditioned for things before, and I never really get them. So I'm not sure if I should apply for this. But then I thought, you know what? The worst thing that could happen is it's a no. So just try, right? It's okay, just try. So I applied. And then like a few days later, I got this notification, like I'd been tagged by emPawa Africa, and I was like, maybe they're just saying, thank you very much. To check, I realized I had been selected. And that was so massive. Like when I got selected, I didn't even think I'd get selected. So I didn't even look at the benefits of being part of emPawa. I was just like applying. So it was my friend who was like, oh my God, you got selected. Do you know what you get? You get like $3,000 and they do your music video. And I was like, wait, you get all that? So I was like, what? You mean like just applying? Like I've actually gotten a yes. And so being part of emPawa Africa really changed my career in a massive way. So an endorsement from Mr Eazi, and then also the funds to release my first single, Better Than Just Fine, and a music video. And that, when I got that opportunity, I was like, I am going to run with it. So I remember I was going to my cousin's wedding in Antigua, which is in the Caribbean. And I had just released now Better Than Just Fine, the single. So when I was there, I was like, okay, how am I going to market myself? How am I going to get people to know who I am? And I remember trying to speak to different people, but obviously I'm in a new country, so no one really knows who I am. But I remember the lesson of never be afraid to speak about what you do and what you're working on. So I was with my cousin at a mutual friend, and they were like, oh, what are you doing in the country? And I told them, and then I told them, I'm also a singer-songwriter. And they're like, oh, do you happen to have any music? I was like, yep, I do. I always carry my music with me. So it was on my phone. So I played her the song. And she's like, wow, amazing. We have to get you on radio. I don't know how, but we have to get you on radio. So fast forward to a few hours later, we went somewhere, and she saw one of the guys who has the biggest radio show in the country. And she walks straight up to him and she says, hi, I have a friend from Kenya. She has this amazing music. I think you should have her on your show. And the guy's like, okay, sure. And I was like, wait, did that just happen? So from having him say yes, a couple of other radio shows said yes to me. So by the time I left that place, I had booked 4 or 5 radio shows in that country. And it was just amazing, seeing how just putting yourself out there, being open to just saying, look, this is what I do, and allowing people to support you, you can get amazing opportunities. So I think after I had that Antigua experience, I came back home really, really, really motivated. And I'm like, right, I need to keep pushing. I need to keep putting myself out there. And so I remember that same year, a lot of things happened. So Better Than Just Fine came out. I went to Antigua and got this amazing radio tour. And then a friend of mine told me about AFRIMA. So AFRIMA is All Africa Music Awards. And normally you just go to the website when the call is open and you submit your song to see if you can get nominated for different awards. So I remember when I went to the website, I was like, man, I only have one song out and I'm not big at all. But I remembered my motto, just apply. So I applied and I forgot about it. And then a few months later, I get a message on Instagram and I realized that I'd been nominated for 2 awards. And that for me was again, just confirming, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Even if people say no, you never know when the next opportunity is going to come. And so from being selected for the All Africa Music Awards, I then ended up being flown to Nigeria, and I was exposed to all these amazing other artists and opportunities. So I think for me, when I was there, I again was motivated to keep going and keep pushing. with my career. Fast forward to say 2 years ago, when I think, yeah, because I released my album in 2020. One of the key things I had started doing before I released my album was to continue to share my story. So in places like this, but also on social media, because I realized people really connect with your story. People connect with people. So whenever I was having a challenge or when good things would happen, I would involve my audience and tell them, look, this is what's happening with me. These are the great things that are happening. These are things that I'm going through. And so by the time I released my album, I felt like I had this audience that was connected to my journey, connected to what I was doing. And it just showed me the power of one, putting yourself out there, but two, also using the tools that you have. So I use social media a lot, like Instagram, I'm quite present there, Facebook and Twitter occasionally. And for me, that's been really, really key in my journey as a musician. And I guess, you know, all through everything, one of the key things I've learned is to really believe in myself. You know, some people might doubt you and tell you need to change who you are, but I found by believing in myself and betting on myself, both financially, with my time and my skills, I've been able to get really far and get opportunities that I thought were impossible. So now I'm really grateful for like where I am in my career, being able to release the debut album. And recently I was also able to collaborate with a label that's based in England to release like an EP called Take a Chance in the house music genre. So yeah, that's a bit of a summary of like my story so far. There's a lot more, but I felt like I wanted to share snippets of different experiences that I've been through that I thought were impossible, but kind of came together in this amazing way. And it was both brand building, but also putting myself out there and saying, you know what, let me try. And so I guess that's my encouragement to anyone here who has a dream is like, you can make it happen. It might take a bit of time, but it's very possible. And I guess another thing I'd like to highlight is all through my journey, another thing that I've been doing is learning different skills. So not just marketing, but also learning about money and how I'm able to like manage my money better. Because when I was working on my album, it was fully self-funded. So I decided to take a job where I would work. So I was basically a PA for someone who had an online store and I was managing all that. And I stayed there for like 2, 3 years because I knew I needed money for my album. Yes, I did some gigs and events, but the money was not enough to fund my album. So I basically said, look, what am I going to do to get myself where I want? And I think being able to make such decisions and learning about business has really, really helped me to be where I am. Yeah, and I guess maybe I can open it up in case anyone has any questions for me. Yeah. I can see like, oh, thank you, Samuel. I can see you've put all the lovely links to like my music and my different platforms. I don't know if anyone has any questions for me that you'd like to ask.
Yeah, I would like
Comment. Yes.
Snacking is colorful. Snacking is informal.
Sorry, who's speaking? I'm trying to look and see.
You don't even need to go to the table for snacking. In fact, you don't need a table at all.
Hello?
I think Alex had a question, but they seem to have a challenge. So I think we can put it in the chat. If you can't say it out loud, you can put it in the chat and we'll read it if you have a question. As we wait for more questions, one of the things that's actually quite in the debate right now is the role of copyright in Kenya and artists making money off, gigs and whatnot. For instance, I think we've all seen that 1,200, was it 1,250 something that everyone gets, 12 to 27 actually, that everyone gets every year from the Copyright Society. What do you think could be done about such when it comes to music, and how does that affect morale when it comes to musicians and making their own music?
I think with copyright societies, it obviously varies from country to country. But one of the key things I've learned, especially in the music business, be it here in Kenya or in another country, you shouldn't depend on just your copyright earnings, right? Like music is like any other business. So one of the key things I basically did was research other ways you can earn money. And one of the best ways to earn money as a musician is thinking, or basically getting your music placed in a movie, an advert, even writing music for other people. Also do events where you get paid directly. So I think for me, when it comes to like copyright societies, yes, there is room for them to change, but I think that's going to take a lot of time, and a lot of different policies being put in place. But as an artist, I would really encourage for people to look for other opportunities where they can earn, because a lot of artists, both locally and internationally, the ones who earn off their music, have multiple streams of income. It's not just copyright. That's not the only way that you can, make money. So I would say like looking for diverse ways where you can earn from whatever it is you're doing. Whether you're a musician, a financial analyst, like don't have just one stream of income. I guess that's what I would say. And also just maybe also talking to other artists and seeing like what are they doing that you can learn from. Sama? Does anyone else have any other questions for me? I think maybe I can share a little bit. I don't know how many of you have businesses or are thinking of building your own brand. So that's something that I also do, not just for myself, but for other people. Like I help entrepreneurs think about how they can use digital media and different tools to build their brand. So if you have any questions around that, feel free to ask. I'd be more than happy to respond on that. But maybe I can share a few things that I've seen. I think one of the key things is to understand that we're all a brand, whether we realize it or not, we're all a brand. And so it's important for you to invest time in like how you present yourself in different spaces. And please don't ignore digital media. So that social media, website, email marketing, all those things are really important. Isaac, I see you have a question. Please go ahead.
Hi, Ambani. Before I ask the question, I think I'm one of the few people who actually listened to your songs before the presentation, and from the album, from your previous EP, The Awakening, Let It In is my best song. On that note, what inspires your sound, or what inspired your sound? Seeing it different from what many people release.
I think I'm inspired by like personal experience. I write from like where I'm feeling or what I'm going through, or maybe what I'm seeing other people go through. That's what inspires what I write about. In terms of my sound, I think it's inspired by the different people that I've listened to over the years, so like Toni Braxton, Adele, Asha from Nigeria, John Legend. I love singer-songwriters who also like who play an instrument. So a bit of like pop, soul, rock, that's what influenced my music. And I think a key thing for me was I wanted to create music that I connect to, that I would enjoy, and that I would be naturally be drawn to. So that's kind of what influenced the sound that I have. So I can see a question: how does one manage to create a brand that stands out in a seemingly crowded space? That's a really good question. I think the first thing I would say in terms of being able to stand out, the biggest advantage we have is we're unique individuals. So I think it's leading into who you are as a person. That's the first thing I would say. A lot of times why we don't stand out is because we're trying to be like other people. We're trying to maybe imitate what other people are trying to do. So the first thing I'd say is lean into who you are, right? Who you are as a person. And then the second thing, brands that stand out are brands that offer value. So like what sort of value do you want to bring to the world, or do you want to bring to the space you're in? So I'm a singer-songwriter. The value I want to bring to the world for me is healing, is joy, is fun, is inspiration. I love sharing my story because I want other people to know that you can make it and you can live your dreams, and you don't have to be like super wealthy or be someone who maybe studied music, because I didn't. So that's the value I bring. I do my best to inspire other people. So I think the second thing, think about what value you want to bring, because when you bring value to a space, that's when you start to stand out. And then I guess the third thing would be trying to find a way that you can express yourself visually. So that might be with the choice of clothes you wear, the sort of like visuals you have, so photography, video. Maybe like I love yellow or mustard, as you can see, I'm wearing like one of those. So you could decide like I'm gonna be the person who wears like mustard all the time or yellow all the time or whatever it is. Those are like the three things I would say. But the core of it really is leaning into who you are as a person and allowing that to come out. And then number two, value. Giving value will help you stand out. People will remember how you make them feel and when you offer value. That would be like my key advice. Let me see if there are any other. I don't know if there are any other questions.
I have another question.
Yes.
Clearly, I did this so that I can ask the questions directly. Should have just DM'd them. When you're doing things, for instance, you're in music and you're also in marketing. So how do you how do you manage the two brands together? Do they merge into one? Does one business take precedence over the other? And if that's the case, what is it for you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, you know, in the beginning, I really struggled balancing both. Initially, I was working on marketing to let that go and then focus on music. But as my journey has gone on, I've seen that I'm not focused on them so much. So I'm going to keep both of them as long as I can. But in terms of like balancing, what tends to happen, I'm very grateful. I tend to have seasons. So there are seasons when marketing is more busy and there are seasons when music is more busy. So actually,
I think we lost you.
We can see you mouthing, can you hear me now? But we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're back.
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Sorry, I can't hear because I just removed my earphones and everything sounds a bit further. Okay, so I was saying in terms of balancing, one of the key things is, I try to be super organized and just make sure that I'm on top of stuff. But then at the same time as well, sometimes I don't get it right and it can get really hectic. But also what's really helped me is having both. So because I do marketing and I do music, I find some musicians come to me to help them market. And then also because I market other people, the skills I've learned through that have helped me to build my brand. So whenever I learn something new or I've applied it to a client, I'm always like, how can I apply that to my brand? So I found that they've helped each other. You know, it pays to be able to manage myself and be able to be a marketer. And I think the other key thing is I'm very empathetic to people because I know how it feels to have to balance things. So when I'm telling you a marketing strategy, I'm able to be like, okay, as much as I'm saying post this much, if you're doing something else, how realistic is that? Because I know how it feels to try and balance everything. So I feel like it's really helped being able to do both. Yeah. Mti or Mule, you'd like to say something?
Yes. So I think first I've listened to your music. It's quite nice. So I have a question for you. So if you're in a musical group, what do you think you'd be doing differently than what you're doing in your career? And what's on your opinion in terms of being in a musical group? What are the advantages, disadvantages Fazafi, maybe someone going solo?
Okay. So I used to be in a group actually when I was in school. And like being in a group has its advantages because you have like more than one person working towards a goal. So I think that's one of the advantages, like you are pushing forward an agenda. It's not just you who's managing everything. So I think those are the advantages, power of numbers. But would I go back to being in a group? No, because I felt like being in a group can be quite tricky because not everyone wants to end up in the same space. And it takes, let's say you're in a group of 4, like all 4 of you need to agree on a project, and say one doesn't want to do it or whatever. I think that can get really tricky. But I think that there are some people who that works for. So I wouldn't discourage you. I think sometimes actually it's great to start off in a group because you can learn a lot from each other and help each other grow. And then if you want, you can then branch out. And you could even do something like the way Sauti Sol have done really, amazingly well is they've built together as a group, but then they've allowed each other to do solo projects, but they all support each other's solo projects, which I feel is quite amazing. Not many groups in the world have been able to do what they're doing. So I think that's what I would say. In terms of dynamics, I think when it comes to groups, the thing I learned when I was in one is it's important that everybody is heard, right? So it's important for everybody to be heard, and so to give people an opportunity to shine. So it shouldn't just be one person who always gets the yes and everybody else's like idea is shut down. I think if everyone feels heard, then there's the opportunity for, the group to keep on going forward and to be successful. But there is power in numbers. Like if you're in a group, you can all like take different roles. One can be the marketer, the other like the finance person, the other the booker. So I think there's a lot of advantages of being in a group as well. Yeah. I'm seeing questions in the chat section, so let me try answer them. So you were saying you love listening to me and you're wondering whether my skills can apply to other professions. Absolutely, they can. I mean, I am a musician and I am a marketing consultant, but at the end of the day, whether you're a musician, whether you're a finance person, the core element of what I'm hoping you all get from this is, number one, you need to try and put yourself out there. You won't get opportunities if you don't apply or if you don't put yourself out there. It's very rare that you'll be at home and someone finds you if you're not going to leave some breadcrumbs. So for instance, like network, when you're in spaces like this, talk to people, tell people what your dream is. And I know many times you've been told, no, keep a dream a secret until it's foolproof. But I found being able to share my dream with certain people can help me get further. So whatever that dream is, find some people you can share with. And say, this is what I'm trying to do. Are you able to support me? Doesn't always have to be money. It could be like skills, opportunities, so that's one of the things. 2, in terms of marketing, the thing I've learned is it doesn't matter what you're marketing. The most important thing is, are you able to connect with your audience? Are you able to show them that you can give them value? Because if you can, you'll be able to sell whatever it is you're selling. And the third thing is digital media is here to stay. So don't ignore it. Learn about it or get someone to help you learn about it, because that's the way I've been able to, thrive as an independent artist, and many businesses in all sorts of fields have been able to thrive by investing time and money in digital media. I know there's another question, so let me try and get to that. Final question from Elvis. What do you know of Rotary? You would make a wonderful Rotarian, and Jabali would make an excellent home. Thank you so much. So I've actually spoken a couple of times at Rotary. Yeah, I mean, I might consider joining. I think it's an amazing network and place where you can grow and pretty much do all the things I was talking about, right? Support systems. So thank you for the invite. I think I will definitely consider thinking about joining Jabali as a Rotary. Yeah, I'm seeing you're all endorsing this point. Thank you very much. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions for me, but while I wait for that, I just really would like to encourage everyone here today, like, you're never too young or too old to start working on whatever it is you're passionate about. So, you know, please, may today be the day that you say, I'm going to start and I'm going to do something about it. Even if other people told you it's not possible, that's their vision, not yours. I'm here to tell you it is possible, but you do need to start. You have to start. And then the other thing I'll say is, if you have negative people in your life who keep telling you it's not possible, it's time for you to change your friends or your circles, because you won't get where you want, where people are always saying it's not possible. Find people who say, we'll figure out a way. That's my sort of people. That's how I've gotten where I am, because my friends, my family, people are like, okay, it might be difficult, but we'll figure out a way. So I hope that whatever you're planning or whatever you dream of, it comes true, and you know that you go for it. And I'm also open to, like, if you guys have any other questions, you can reach me out on my social media pages. I run them, I respond. I'm always happy to like share any resources that I have gathered, and I'm always open to supporting people. So I don't know if there's anything else for me, or I should like hand over to, is it Samuel or Elvis?
To Elvis.
Elvis, I guess back to you.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful, very wonderful conversation. There were a lot. There were a lot of points that you've made that resonate with me, and I'm sure to many people here. Very inspirational. Honestly, the AFRIMA award should have gone to you. SK, is there someone moving a vote of thanks, or should I go ahead and move it? I am very ready to move a vote of thanks.
Please do, please do.
Okay, fantastic. I had already started, so where was I? So yeah, very inspirational. I think one of my key points from this is how you should just continue putting yourself out there, even if you're not sure what will happen, and doing your best, even if there's one person who shows up. Because sometimes when you're thinking of doing something, some things look bleak. It's a huge task. Like Mutia was asking, you might think starting music it's in a crowded space. So why join if it's crowded? But if you're passionate about it, you can really cause a ripple. And your speech today, your talk today was very, very wonderful. Finally, yes, the invitation is official with very many witnesses, and we hope to be seeing you join us as a member of Jabali. You would definitely make a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Rotarian. Thank you so much, and have a good night. Back to you, SK.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, Olivia, for joining us. I think one thing I noted, and sorry, Elvis, for making this public. Elvis sent this invite about 2 months ago. I am not sure why he was very prompt with this invite particularly, but he has also sent a couple probably a month in advance. But this one went out about 2 months ago. It must have been very early in or mid-April. So Elvis, thank you for the planning, and Olivia, thank you for joining us this evening. You also confirmed quite early on, and we look forward to having you as a member of Jabali. There's I think we are a very dynamic, interesting club with very high potential for all our members, and we promise that you'll love it over here. So it's just 3 minutes to the top of the hour. So kindly indulge us for some probably 15 more minutes to do a round of announcements, and then Sergeant terms, and Antoine will explain what that is. So a couple of announcements of what's coming up in the next few days and next month. So today is our meeting. We've had our fellowship tonight. Our next fellowship will be on Wednesday, 6th July. So if you're joining us for the first time, we meet every 2 weeks on Wednesday from 7:45 p.m. for 8. So between 7:45 or between 7:30 and 8, our in-house DJ is doing his thing, Then we start promptly at 8. In our next fellowship, in our next meeting, quote unquote, we'll host, I think, one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest and legendary Rotarians working on the African continent. His name is Emmanuel Katongole from Uganda. He has a story that will probably get a few people to tears. But what I love about Emmanuel is his humility besides his out of this world business profile. So he's the founder, former CEO, and current chair of a pharmaceutical company in Uganda. The pharmaceutical company is the only company in Africa that manufactures ARVs and malaria drugs. So he started the company with a few partners and resigned from being CEO, took the company public, so it's trading in the Ugandan Stock Exchange, and is now chairman of that same company. That is the only company in Africa that manufactures ARVs and malaria drugs. So he's a serious man, he's a serious deal. He has been a Rotarian for, I think, since 1996. Serves on many other boards, but he's chairman of Uganda National Oil and is also chair of the Uganda National COVID Fund Task Force. He's chancellor of Nkuba University in Uganda. His profile will be read on the day, and it's very long. But yeah, he has a story from where he started to where he is today. It's unimaginable. It's crazy. For those who understand the Rotary Foundation, Emmanuel Katongole is an Arch-Club Society member. That means he has donated upwards of 25 million Kenya shillings to the Rotary Foundation. Yeah, serious guy. So next fellowship will be hosting PDG Emmanuel Katongole. This one is those ones that you shouldn't miss. And it's also a first meeting in the new Rotary year. So a Rotary year ends in June, 30th June, and a new year begins 1st of July. So Emmanuel Katongole shall be our first speaker in the 2022-2023 Rotary year. And you're most welcome to this fellowship. The details are already ready. So I think Mutia, this one should be circulated as early as we can. Yeah, so that's our next fellowship. And then, so 6th and then 20th July, we'll communicate who will be hosting then. Then the next event after that will be our charter. So as I explained earlier, Rotary Jabali is one of the newest, youngest Rotary clubs in and about town. It's young in the average age of our membership, but also young in regards we are not yet a fully fledged Rotary club, but that will be happening early July, and the real party celebrating our charter will be on 30th of July, Saturday, 30th July at 67 Airport Hotel along Mombasa Road. Dress code for the charter is black tie. Timings for the event is 5 p.m. to about 10 p.m. That's the official beat, where all charter members are officially recognized as members of Rotary. We are presented with a charter certificate for Rotary Jabali, and we also install our charter board. But then from 10 p.m., we shall leave the venue after breakfast in the morning. So come ready for 12 plus hours of a proper party to celebrate the charter of Rotary Jabali. The details are on all our social media platforms. You can take a screenshot of this. You shall see this poster in our WhatsApp groups and everywhere on near you, our WhatsApp status near you. And this is the other event that thou shan't miss. It shall be officiated by our district governor, Rotarian Azeb Asrat. She is the district governor for District 9212, which covers Kenya, Ethiopia, and South Sudan. And the keynote speaker shall be Patricia Ithao, the CEO of Scan Group. And I think that a poster will be out soon announcing Patricia as our keynote speaker. So I hope everyone here has already paid for the charter. You are looking for your suit or your dress, or you're planning to buy one. Either way, we hope, and we are hoping that you shall be at our charter come 30th of July. I see Grace Wanjao asking about membership. So probably I can answer that as Antoine prepares for the SA section. So membership of Rotary Jabali, or how you become a Rotarian, is pretty simple. You attend such fellowships or our physical activities. So let me explain. We meet virtually on Wednesdays every 2 weeks from 7:45 to 9-ish. And then we have physical socials over a Friday evening, or when it's a serious or a longer event on Saturday. So we have socials on Friday evening, stroke weekends, at least every month. So we've already had the plan for June. We had a Friday hangout some 2 weeks ago. We have had our 2 meetings we have had our 2 virtual fellowships for June. So June is ending, but we have a physical board meeting this Saturday. So the board has other activities behind the scenes just to ensure the club is running properly. So when you attend our activities, express interest to join the club. So let any member of the club know that you are interested to be inducted. So what happens is, I've shared a link on the chat. When you attend such fellowships, we monitor attendance so that we monitor attendance so that we are able to see who is our member and who is interested, or who was just visiting for one meeting. And then the board will consider your membership in subsequent board meetings when proposed by a club member. So, but besides attendance, we also encourage people to participate in leadership of the club. So the board has 14 people, so not everyone can be in the board, but we have board committees on different areas. So we have a membership committee that looks at all matters family. So membership committee looks at all matters family. As a family of Rotary, as friends, what can we do? When can we have a hangout? When can we have a sherehe? What are our members celebrating? Is a member having a birthday party, a wedding, a rorashio? Everything family in the family of Rotary is looked at by the membership committee. So if you're a good events planner, or you want to learn events planning, if you are a people person, if you want to know everyone in the club, you join the membership committee, and we'll really appreciate your input on how best we can grow, and how best Rotary Jabali can thrive, not only the club, but our members. So should you want to join the membership committee, there's a gentleman by the name Terrell. He's the noisiest person in our WhatsApp group. So you'll see him, Terrell, on chat, Emmanuel Terrell, or you can take his number right here, 0716 422 522. And then we have a committee on public image, how we communicate to the world, how we tell the Rotary story, Rotary Jabali story, how you see the designs you get to receive from Otia, So that's the public image committee. They do a lot in our communications. They handle all our socials. They also, after charter, will be planning a lot on how we innovate internally as a club. So you are a designer, you're in public image, you're in comms. Mutie is your guy, 0701 55 75 55. You people have easy numbers. Yeah, and finally, what Rotary is best known for? Projects. How we plan our projects, what projects to undertake, how to fundraise for those projects, how to partner with other Rotary clubs outside of our country, donations to the Rotary Foundation. That's the projects and fundraising committee led by Kennedy Macau. He has a slightly easier number, also 28 68 63 83. So for you to be a member of Rotary Jabali, attend our meetings like this, attend our socials, our physical activities, let's interact, get to know the members of the faces behind Rotary Jabali. And then besides attendance of fellowships and activities, please, in your area of passion or where you want to grow your skills or where you have skills, volunteer to be in the leadership of the club through a committee. And how we plan is, in the next year, since a Rotary year is only, every board serves 1 year. So every year we'll change our boards, and you have, we plan our succession through the committees. So Terrell will no longer be membership director next year, same as Mutie, same as Macau. We'll need a new, fresh group of leaders, and we continue growing like that. And also you can join subcommittees. So we have a whole committee of 17 people planning our charter party. So the charter party is not being done by one person. There's a whole committee of how many people? 17 people who critique every idea that comes up, panel beat it until we have good ideas coming to the public. So you can also join the charter party planning committee. That's why I've put it at the top. It's led by Ben Kimani. He has a long numbers, 29, 80, 83, 89. So that's how we run Rotary Jabali. It's not a one-man show. There are a lot of things happening in the background. And then that's where the real interaction happens. But also this kind of meetings and also our socials every so often. And upon charter, we'll now start having projects. I hope I've answered Grace comprehensively. WhatsApp group. Yeah, we have a WhatsApp group. If you register on the link that I've shared on the chat, someone will reach out to you and you will be added to our WhatsApp group. And we make a lot of good noise there. Over to you, Antoine.
Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is audible. The Homa has been attacking us this week, but we're giving thanks. So this is the moment we call the SAA moment. For the guests and the new members, SAA stands for Sergeant at Arms. And as a brief of what the SAA does within the club, mainly it's to maintain order and to ensure that all activities are going as they have been planned. So at this moment, we would like to hear from members. You might be having something you are celebrating, so we wouldn't mind having your happy dollars. There might be something which has not been that good during the week. You might give us a sad dollar. So for the happy dollars and the sad dollars, mainly what they do is they go to our club kitty, where to support mostly administrative activities and also to the Rotary Foundation, the TRF. So for now, first, let me first say thanks to Olivia and Elvis for this awesome talk. So if you're happy for the awesome talk, you can share with us your happy dollars. And for the happy dollars, you can set to Priska, sorry. And the number is on the screen. So I don't know who is happy today. We start from there.
Probably I can go first.
Yes, Eva.
Thank you. I'm happy, excited about today's talk by Olivia. I'm happy to hear her story, and I like the way she told us her story from the very little beginning to where she is today. And I think from today, I have some new two sayings. Just apply and then put yourself out there. So some things I might take home from her talk, and I would like to apply them also in my life. Thank you.
Thanks, Eva. Who's going next?
Probably I can go next. We'll first, as Mutia proposes for, I think the fourth time now, you call Priska Priscilla. So please find yourself a very healthy fine. I have two happy dollars. One is for this meeting, very enlightening. People. We say our club has a lot of people in finance and audit. I think we'll need to experience a lot more of people in the arts, people in marketing to neutralize the finance guys over here. So I'm very happy for that, and thank you, Olivia, for spending your evening with us. Second happy is I think I've met quite a number of people in between the 2 weeks. I have met Isaac, I've met Eva, I've met Francis. And the Rotary Jabali story is a compelling one. So invite everyone for charter. I think it's getting really exciting. Yep. And looking forward to seeing the board on Saturday. We shall not share photos publicly. Back to you, Antoine.
Thanks, SK. That fine is well recognized. Mutie, on to you.
Thank you. So I'll give 5 apiece, but I'd like Anton to give his happy dollar for calling continually calling Priska Priscilla, which she doesn't like. So first, I think it's for SK for always making up the numbers by joining with 2 devices. Next, I think it's I like the strides that we are making. We are 38 days today from our charter party, and like we always keep saying, it's going to be the latest party of the century. 3, I think it's for our speaker today, Olivia. It's been really a nice talk, very enlightening and also motivational for some of us who are shy about talking about what we do, to just go out there, feel proud of what you do, and connect with other people. 4, I think I'm quite looking forward to Austin, PDG Emmanuel Katongole. I think SK has talked much about him, so we quite can't wait to host him and learn quite a lot from him. And finally, I think despite all the COVID that people are having, I don't know how lucky I am because I've not got any coughing so far, but I just insist everyone to just take care of themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mutie. Before we go to Kennedy Gaya, we would like to find the customer service team for not following up on Grace. Kindly the customer service, urushie Priska fine yenyu. Gaya, to you.
Thank you so much, Antoine. I also just want to express my appreciation for the commitment that the team has here, and this today marks the end of the Rotary year for us, yeah, because now the next meeting we have will be the new Rotary year, and to those who understand our journey, when we started last year in May, that also means that we've officially finished a whole Rotary year as a club. And that means that we are doing well and growing in the right direction. And we are super excited that even as we start the new Rotary year next month, we'll blossom further. So apologies for Victoria, from Victoria. Victoria is unwell and was unable to join us today, but we hope she'll get well soon. And so that is $1 for buying airtime, and then $4 more for appreciating the good work we are doing as a team. Thank you.
Thanks, Gaia. I can see we have Alexander, then Motier again. Alexander, over to you.
Thank you very much. I don't know why Motier is raising his hand again. He's just spoken. Yeah, so I'm trying to get, so thank you very much, Olivia, for the good sharing. It is my first time here, so I'm trying to get the hang of the dollars. I don't know if I'm the one who's collecting all of them today as a first timer. Yeah, but let me say I'll give also one for giving me this opportunity to be part of this great community and family. And the second one for the nice sharing, and the two extra ones for no reason, for just being happy to be here. Yes, so that's all. So thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you, Alexander. We look forward to your more of visitations in our club.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any more happy dollars? Any more sad dollars? Okay.
I'd like to give $2 extra. I think one to Alex for agreeing to finally join this club. I started talking to him since last year, May. We finished a year like Gaia said. So finally, then the final dollar is for I like Gaia's confidence for displaying Arsenal's club badge on his wall. Yeah.
Thank you, Motier. If you are sad today, if you are happy, kindly, we are closing off the session. If you've not said anything tonight, kindly say something. Who is that? Is it Isaac?
Okay, it was by mistake, but one happy dollar for good, for meeting Olivia, although it's through the screen, but it's a good one.
Thanks, Isaac. Make sure you attend our next social. You will definitely meet most of the faces here. Francis, over to you. Yes, Francis.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy. I think I'm giving 5 happies. One is just for the talk, and also, yes, Olivia, that was an amazing talk, an amazing conversation, and then just being happy generally. I hope there are no fines. My network was bad.
That should be a fine, huh?
Yes, and a very big one.
Yes, I can see someone else was on. I can see someone is asking a question. So Wajiko is asking whether happy and sad dollars is real money. Yes, it's real money. As I said, this goes to the club's kitty to support the club's activity, admin activities, and also at times to TRF. So as we wait for the other person who would like to speak, we have $2 sad for the flu. That is from Melissa. Pole sana Melissa. Sam amesema ni COVID, but ni sawa. So the dollar rate is 100 shillings, Mr. Alex. So who else is going with the happy dollar or the sad dollar?
Antoine, I have an additional 2. I think one is a correction to everyone. I don't think this is a flu. Just accept it's COVID and wear your mask. I think 2 weeks ago, we also had, I think, 3 people or 4 people with the flu. Francis, I think Mel was also had a flu 2 weeks ago. It's not a flu, by any mask. And the other one is for Wanjiko to speak at the start of the meeting. She could introduce herself now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wanjiko Gezua. I am an entrepreneur. I quick plug for plugging myself here very quickly. I sell perfumes, warm jackets, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm in the general supplies business. So if you need anything, including air, I'm your girl. Talk to me. I also thank you for having me here. My main reason for joining is to look for like-minded people. And so far, so good. Thank you. Oh, and I'm also giving happy dollars for being invited and being added to the group before 4 months. We are sorry, Grace. I hope you guys are well. Sorry, Olivia, for your flu. Have a lovely evening and thank you for having me.
Karibu sana. We look forward to having you more times. And karibu to Jabali. So if you know you came in late, kindly find yourself following the 4-way test. Do we have any other happy dollar, sad dollar before I move the seat back to SK? Terel, leo menyamaza sana. Tuana kinagadhua.
Niko salama, unajua saa ingine you watch and see what silence can help, if silence can help, and I can tell you aina ISID.
Sasa you are not happy in Uganda, my friend. What is wrong, bwana?
No, I came back. You know, I need to even give a sad dollar. I missed a flight because of time difference. I was in DRC, then I went to Uganda, but the flight to Kenya was around 7 p.m., but hadn't changed my time from DRC time. So I missed my flight because of time difference. I was using the time on my phone. Please, guys, don't ever miss flights. Don't ever miss flights. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will be sweating and crying at the airport.
Especially if you don't have money.
That's the point.
That is uncalled for, but anyway.